Hello and welcome to one of our final live streams of our virtual open event tonight. So today on this live stream, we're going to be talking about how to apply step by step, and this is specifically through UCAS. So I'm joined by our careers team, so Sonia, Sarfraz and Lisa, who are all here to give you some information on that. So we're just going to show you a quick presentation that they'll each talk you through. And then towards the end, we'll answer any questions and some FAQs that we've got ready that we get asked quite a lot. So without further ado, I will hand over to Sonia, who is going to start this for you. And I'll let her talk through this presentation.
I've got a surprise. It's me.
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
Lisa, my mistake.
That's fine. Okay, great. So for this evening's session, we're going to talk about applying to higher education and the UCAS process. So after this short presentation, please feel free to ask any career-related questions that you may have, and we'll do our very best to answer them for you. So it's all about research. Now, with over 50,000 undergraduate courses available at more than 395 providers in the UK, I'm sure you'll agree that there's a lot to choose from, and that may feel pretty daunting at first. Of course, we all have different interests, motivations and ways in which we prefer to learn. So if you've made the decision that you want to go on to higher education, how do you narrow down your choices to make that well-informed decision? And here from the slide, you'll see some of our top tips. Now, when you're researching your course, remember to look beyond just the title. You'll undoubtedly find courses with the same or similar title. However, the content in terms of the topics or modules that you will cover might be quite different. And remember, you may be studying higher education course for several years, so it's important that you choose a course that really interests you. Do also consider how the course is structured. For example, does it offer a placement year, otherwise known as a sandwich year? And this might be based in the UK or overseas, and it's a great way to gain industry experience, which may ultimately enhance your CV and future job prospects. Also consider what links the course and university or college has with employers, and this might be particularly important if you've got a specific career in mind. Now, as well as a single study option, you could mix your studies across two separate courses, for example, by studying a joint honours or combined honours degree. For more information about the different study options, do have a look at www.ucas.com because it's packed full of useful advice and videos. Now, also consider how the course is taught. Are you somebody who prefers a practical approach to learning, or do you prefer more theory? Do you prefer practical assessment or exams, or is it a combination of the two? The universities can use a whole range of assessment methods, including exams, assignments, dissertations, presentations, individual or in groups, practical assessments and project work. So if you're looking to get into certain professions, for example, nursing or law, you should check whether or not the course gives you accreditation towards professional status. It's also really important that you check the entry requirements for the course that you're interested in, as this is likely to vary from one university and one course to another. Some course providers use UCAS tariff points rather than grades to display their entry requirements. And UCAS tariff points are essentially points that you can earn from any recognised level 3 qualification, such as A-levels, BTECs or an access course, for example. Now, you'll find a full list of recognised qualifications and further information about combining qualifications on the UCAS website under the UCAS calculator. Or why not speak to a careers advisor for help with this? Okay, now, so don't forget to check GCSE requirements also. Whilst they don't carry UCAS points, they are still very important, and you'll usually find specific information listed under entry requirements. If you're unsure, it's worth checking with the university or college's admissions team. Now, of course, universities and colleges can look and feel very different, and some are more traditional with a focus on subject-based courses and research, whilst others have a more modern feel that generally have a greater emphasis on vocational style learning. Also consider location carefully too. So do you want to be closer to home, or would you prefer to move further away? And most universities have more than one campus, so check out whereabouts you're likely to be located. You don't want any nasty surprises. So if you're planning on living on campus, in halls, or perhaps looking at sharing a house, factor in what the accommodation and living costs might be. They can be expensive, so have a look at accommodation and transport and food also, because it does vary depending on where you are living in the UK. So you'll also find that higher education is very well equipped to support students, from library services, welfare, counselling to careers advice. But if you do have a specific requirement or support need, don't be afraid to ask, and that's really important. Now, finally, don't forget to consider the social scene. Higher education is not only about the academic side of university life, it also offers a great opportunity to meet new people, make friends, and join societies and groups. Well, I hope that's been useful and gives you food for thought. So now I'm going to hand over to Sonia, who's going to talk you through the UCAS process.
Thank you, Lisa. That's great. Okay, so first of all, it's important to say that there are various UCAS application systems, but what we're going to focus on today is the undergraduate application process. Now, all applications to universities and colleges for full-time courses are made through UCAS and their particular online system, which is called Apply. Now, you will need to register your Apply account via the UCAS website by firstly entering some personal details. Then UCAS will automatically generate a username for you, and you will be invited to create your own password. Just make sure you make a note of your username and password, because you will need it every time that you log into your application. And don't forget, you can log into your application at home as well. It's not just within school or college. If you are applying though through your school or college, you will need to enter a buzzword. Ask your school or college for this. Essentially, it links your UCAS application to your school or college so that your teacher can see your application, check it, and upload a reference for you. So it is important. So once you enter the buzzword, then that completes your registration. So once you have registered, you need to complete all sections of the UCAS application form to be able to send your application to your chosen courses. Now, you don't need to complete them all at once. Students get very scared when they see all the sections they need to complete. Some are quicker than others, but remember that you can save your progress as you go along, and you can go back at any time. Now, universities are going to pay particular attention to your qualifications, so it's really, really important that these are entered correctly. Make sure you enter all of your GCSEs, whatever the grade, as well as your current qualification. If you've got functional skills, English and maths qualifications, they need to be entered as well. One of the most important parts of your application, as well as the education section, is your personal statement. Now, you only write one personal statement and it gets sent to all of the universities. But essentially, you need to sell yourself in that statement. You need to explain why you want to study the course you want to study. And you really need to get across your enthusiasm and knowledge for your chosen course as well. And also demonstrate your skill set to the universities. Importantly, back your skill set up with examples in your personal statement. So once you've completed the all-important research that Lisa has advised you to do, and you've researched where you want to apply, then you need to submit your UCAS application. Now, if you're applying through your school or college, your application is going to be sent to your tutor for them to add a reference. So they will check your application, add a reference for you with a predicted grade for your current qualification. The school or college will then send your application to UCAS on your behalf. At Leicester College, it's Katie and I who send your application to UCAS. Now, you need to be really clear about the deadlines. You do need to check them. Unfortunately, as with most things, there are deadlines you need to work through. So essentially, there are two main deadlines that UCAS sets. One is today, the 15th of October, which is for any courses at Oxford and Cambridge, and for most courses in medicine, veterinary medicine, science, and veterinary medicine or science and dentistry. Then the other deadline is the 15th of January. So the majority of undergraduate courses will be for the 15th of January. Now, there might be an earlier deadline that your school or college sets as well. It's important to make sure that you find out what it is, because it essentially your teachers have set it because it gives them enough time to check your application and also write your reference. You can imagine that at Leicester College we regularly send over 500 applications every year, and we have to check them one by one, so it takes a bit of time. But your tutors also need time to write individual references as well. So it's really important you check the internal deadline. At Leicester College, our internal deadline for students this year will be the 4th of December. So that's our own internal deadline. Okay, so as I said, just make sure you check the deadlines. If you need any assistance, if you're a Leicester College student, please get in touch with the careers team. We are more than happy to assist you. But good luck with your application. Okay, I'm going to pass over to Safraz, who's going to talk about your next steps.
Okay, thank you, Sonia. That was really interesting and very engaging. Okay, so what do you need to do next? Well, first of all, I would advise that you start getting very familiar with the UCAS website. Now, as Sonia just mentioned, the UCAS website covers all aspects of the UCAS process. That includes the search engine. So as soon as you go to the homepage, there's a big search engine that allows you to search obviously what you want to do at university, and looks at the different levels that you can search, and also look at where you can actually go and entry requirements as well. So there's a facility to sign in and apply, and you need to register for that. Obviously, your school or college or sixth form will have a login for that as well. So you will be able to do that as well. So once you've actually done your registration and your sign in, you'll be able to work on your form, which is obviously very important. And once you've done that, you can then track your application and reply back to offers. Now, once registered, obviously you start working your form, but also you need to let your tutor know what you are doing, what area are you looking at, so they can work on the reference as well. Now, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the UCAS Hub, which is available on the UCAS website. This platform allows you to research all your potential options. You can make notes, such as open day information, and it's a really good place to start doing your research to see all the different courses available. Now, open days, such as this event, is available right across the board. Now, all the universities are doing virtual open days at the moment, and you can book directly from the university website or from websites such as opendays.com, or taste days are available as well through the university website and on unitasterdays.com. Now, at this stage, social media does play a big part in finding out what universities and higher education and colleges are doing. So another practical thing you could do is start following universities on social media. So, you know, of course, you're probably watching this on social media, but again, start following them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and ensuring that that ensures that you're kept up to date with any sort of changes, any events, any things that are going on, and start sort of signing up for any newsletters or any information that they might have from their website. Now, again, you might be actually in the process of filling in your UCAS form, but you might need some help. You might need someone to just check your form, make sure that you're doing everything correct. Now, at your school or college or sixth form, there will be a dedicated team, or maybe a single person that helps you with the UCAS application. Find out who they are, and actually, well, you know, ask for the help if need be. Okay, so also get familiar with websites. There are a lot of websites out there for universities. The main one, I would say, is obviously the UCAS website. UCAS also have a channel on YouTube, which is absolutely amazing. Now, YouTube is one of the websites that you can access for information about the whole process of applying to universities, from how to fill in the form, what to put in a reference, and so on. Unibuddy is a very, very good website that allows you to connect with students right across all universities and colleges as well, and also you can chat to them and access online and virtual events as well. What Uni has lots of information and also statistics about your university, about accommodation, and information about graduates going on and doing wonderful things in the job sense. Okay, university websites as well. Please go to university websites, find out more information about obviously your course. It talks a lot about entry requirements as well, is on there, and making sure that you fulfill the UCAS tariff, the UCAS points that are required, and so on. And finally, my last one that I'm going to recommend is Student Finance England. You perhaps don't need to know much about this at this stage, but after Christmas, after the deadline, January the 15th, you will start thinking about perhaps the tuition fees and applying for finance. So Student Finance England is very, very useful for that. Okay, I hope you found this presentation useful and beneficial. And now it's over to Adam, who will possibly have some questions for us.
Thank you, Sarfraz. Yes, so I'm just going to quickly add everyone back into our stream, and then we'll go through some FAQs that we've got here. The first question that we've got is, I want to apply to university to start a degree in 2021, but I'm not currently at college. Can I still apply?
Yeah, I can take that one, Adam. Yeah, absolutely. If you're an ex-student at Leicester College, you can actually link your UCAS application to the college. So if you request our buzzword, we can give that to you. The tutor of your previous course can actually provide a reference for you as well. You know, out of courtesy, do email them and do ask, of course. But at Leicester College every year, we have a number of ex-students who return to us and request a reference. If you're part of the Leicester College application system, then we will obviously send your application to UCAS. If you're not part of the college though, and you want to apply independently, so you're applying by yourself essentially, you're not entering a buzzword, you can also do that. UCAS do allow you to apply independently, and that will enable you to get a reference from someone else, for example, an employer. So absolutely, you can still apply even though you're not part of a school or college. Hope that helps.
Yeah, that was perfect. Thank you for that, Sonia. I think you cleared that right up. So the next question we've got is, I have applied in a previous UCAS cycle. Can I use the same application?
I can take that one.
There we go, Lisa.
Okay, so unfortunately the answer is no. You can't retrieve your previous application. You need to start a brand new one. Okay, don't fall into the trap of getting lots of applications going, because it can get really confusing. So if you're linked to if you're attending a college sixth form, speak to the UCAS coordinator, the person in charge of UCAS. They will have a buzzword, and that will enable you to link your application to the college, and that way you get fully supported all the way through. So it's probably the best way, but you can't, unfortunately, you can't use a previous application. It has to be a brand new one.
Brilliant. Thank you for clearing that up, Lisa. So the next question we've got, which I think quite a lot of people might be able to relate to actually, is, I'm a mature person and I want to apply for a higher education course. I don't have any record of my GCSEs. What can I do? Who would like to say that?
Yeah, I can take that one. Okay, so Adam, you're quite right. A lot of people are in this situation and they do want to go to university, but they haven't got a record of their GCSEs or what they've previously done. There's a lot of things you can do. First of all, what my advice is, first of all, go to your school and go to the exams office. Hopefully your school's there. If your school's not there, go to the education authority and talk to them about it. But you go to your school exams office. Now, when you go there, ask them if they've got a kind of a record of your exam and your exams result. Now, if they've got it, that's fantastic. Ask for them to print it out, and they should be able to do that for you. Now, if they can't, ask them about the examining boards that you perhaps used to do your subject areas. So, for example, if it's English, it might be AQA and so on and so forth. Now, hopefully they would have that. Now, failing that, say, for example, they haven't got a result of that, what you can do, if you know of brothers and sisters that went to the same school, you've got friends that went there, ask them as well about the examining board. Now, that's actually really important, because what you can do is, once you know the examining board, is go on the website, say, for example, for AQA, and on there clearly it would say, I would like to order a replacement certificate. quite straightforward to do. I've done it a few times with clients and students and so on. The only thing is you have to obviously fill out the form, details of when you did the exam, where you did it, and so on. But the other thing is there'll be a cost. There will be a cost. It changes every year, so it's best to just check with the exam board as well. Now, if you, for example, haven't studied English and maths for a while, what you can do is, and you haven't got no GCSEs, there's another quite a few options. For example, Skills for Life, or you could do functional skills at Leicester College part-time, or you could do it anywhere, to be honest. There's lots of places that do that. If you can also pick up GCSEs. We do a GCSE pathway course, which is 1 year full time. It's quite intensive. You do about 5 GCSEs in a year. The early entry really are like evidence of English and maths, and your functional skills should be okay for that. And then leading on to that, I would even say look at maybe access courses as well. So there's quite a lot in that answer. I hope it answers it well.
I feel like you covered quite a lot there, Sarfraz, but it's better to give a thorough answer than a vague one. So the next question we've got is, can I place my course choices in order of preference in the UCAS application? Sonia, would you like to answer that one?
I can answer that one, Adam. Okay, so actually a question that we get asked a lot by students. No, you can't actually place your course choices in preference, so there's no first order or second order. Basically, it's because UCAS will only place your course choices in alphabetical order, and the reason they do that is because one university that you've applied to can't see where else you've applied to. So you could be applying to one university, say DMU, you could be applying to another university completely, and they wouldn't be able to see where else that you've applied to. And that's the reason you can't put your course choices in first order or second order. So it's alphabetical order only. So please don't worry, your application will get to the universities at the same time. Hope that helps.
Brilliant, thank you, Sonia. The next question we got is what are HNDs and foundation degrees, and how do they differ from a full degree? Lisa, would you be able to help?
Yeah, I can answer that one. Okay, so, well, they're all higher education qualifications. HND stands for Higher National Certificate and is a level 4 qualification. HNDs, it stands for Higher National Diploma, and obviously you've got the foundation degree. Now, HNDs and foundation degrees 2 years of higher education, which take you to level 5. Now, what they can all do is enable you to do further study in order to top those qualifications up to a full degree. So if you did a foundation degree for 2 years, for example, 1 further year, going direct entry into a 3rd year would enable you then to get your full degree. They're a very popular option, and at Leicester College we offer a range of higher education qualifications. So it's a vast amount of opportunities really. You don't have to study the traditional 3-year or 4-year degree. You could think about one of those other options, and they are fantastic if you are working as well as wanting to study. So there's often a part-time option with those, so they're very flexible, but ultimately they can, you could complete at those levels, at level 4 or level 5, and can continue with what you're doing in the workplace or move into a job, or you can continue and get that full degree, and the entry requirements are slightly lower as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Lisa. So the next question we've got is, how can I find out about the finance available for starting a degree at university? Sarfraz, would you be able to answer that?
Yeah, I'll answer that one. I think I mentioned this in my presentation, and it was the last website that I talked about. So you can find out about finance available for university. The website, it is a website called Student Finance England, and you basically, obviously, you go on the website, but there's a lot of information about the different types of funding available when you go to university. So on Student Finance England, you make an account, and then the account is you can make the account anytime really, but once you've done that, you then apply for funding. Now there's two types of funding when you go to university. One is you apply for funding for the tuition fees to pay for, I don't know, if it's a degree, it might be £9,250, or H&D is a little bit cheaper, but you can apply for funding for that. It's a loan, so you have to pay it back once you're earning about £25,000 per year. But and also you finish the degree, so so you basically pay it back once you've done that. And also there's a maintenance loan as well. Now you apply for it all together in one application, and then when you start university, the tuition fee gets paid straight to the university, and the maintenance loan that obviously you've applied for will come to you, but it won't come all together because that can be quite a lot of money. They split it in 3 ways, so you get one in September, January, and I think the last one is in April as well. But a lot of information online. Also, what I will say is check out YouTube as well. Student Finance have got a YouTube channel, and to be honest, that's where I would probably go first, because they explain it in such a easy way, and so you've got it all there.
Brilliant, thank you for that, Sarfraz. It's quite a nice idea actually. YouTube's very accessible as well, so it could be a nice quick easy thing that you could even do tonight if you're interested in that. The next question we've got is, where can I get help with writing a personal statement for my UCAS application? Sonia, I see you nodding your head. Can you help with this one?
I'm nodding my head because, again, we get asked this question all the time, and today as well. It's a really popular question. Luckily, there are loads of sources of help, for help with writing your personal statement. I think a really good place to start is a UCAS website. They've got a wealth of resources that you can actually access. They've got worksheets. They'll actually explain to you what a personal statement is. And talking of YouTube, they've got a really nice video on there which breaks down what to include in a personal statement, maybe how you want to structure it as well. Talking of social media, do follow UCAS Online on Twitter and Facebook. Now, just recently, UCAS Online did a series of Facebook Lives, and they focused specifically on how to get started with writing a personal statement. So head over to their Facebook channel and do watch those videos because they're extremely useful. You can also go to university websites as well. Normally they do have some information about how to get started in a personal statement, and also perhaps about what you should be including in a personal statement as well. There might be subject-specific advice with some university websites too. Of course, you can come to the careers team as well. This week I have been receiving emails from students who have been sending me their personal statements. We will gladly check them over for you. We will give you feedback. It's always constructive. And the only thing we won't do is write them for you, but we will give you some guidance about your statements and whether you're heading in the right direction. So if you're a Leicester College student and you would like us to check your draft of personal statements, do feel free to email us. Hope that helps.
Brilliant, thank you, Sonia. So I think we've got time for one last question. So the question we've got here is, what can I do to make my application stand out for a competitive degree course? Lisa, would you like to say that one?
Yeah, I can do, Adam, thanks. Okay, all right. Well, first and foremost, attention to detail is absolutely key. So whatever you're applying for, your application needs to be completed correctly, and make sure that you've got no errors within it. But your personal statement is extremely important, as Sonia has mentioned. So for them competitive courses, make sure first of all you understand the type of course you're applying for. So read and read again, make sure you understand it completely. And then it's about being able to explain your reason why you want to study that particular course, and really evidencing, and that's key as well. So evidence your interest for the course, your skills, your knowledge, your interest, and ultimately that way then the admission tutor, when they read it, will really get an insight into why you've applied, what you want to get from that degree, and maybe what your career aspirations are as well. So take your time, and a really, really well written application form with a very good personal statement will stand you in great stead to hopefully get a place on a course. Obviously, for some courses, it follows with an interview. So for, you know, sort of the health professions, nursing and so forth, medicine, you know, there's quite a rigorous process following that of interviews and so forth. So again, preparation is absolutely key. But I think if you do all of that, then there's no reason why, you know, you couldn't be successful on getting one of those competitive courses.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Lisa. So that does bring us to the end of this step-by-step how to apply UCAS live stream. Thank you so much to our careers team for coming in and giving all that information. I know we've barely touched the tip of the iceberg with information. So if people still do have questions, what's the best way that they can contact you guys or see to get advice? Yeah.
Well, the best way is it's very accessible, to be honest. If you go to our website, so it's Leicester College website, and you look for student services, but the career service is there. Or easier, go on to Google and Google Leicester College Career Service. You'll come to our page, lots of information about us, but more importantly, we've got a form, a little form that you fill out. So you write down, obviously, a little bit about yourself, your contact details, and write down how do you want to be contacted. So, for example, if you want to be contacted by phone, email, and also we do Microsoft Teams as well. So we're very, very accessible. It's very successful as well. And just put in an inquiry, we'll actually get back to you probably within the day.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Sarfraz. If you do have any questions, these guys are very, very good at what they do. They are award-winning and they are brilliant at helping students. So feel free to contact them. They're super friendly and they're always happy to help. If you do want any more information, you can check out our website, like Sarfraz says, and you can, if you want to find the careers team, just search them in the website as well, and that will also bring them up. You can apply for courses now as well, and that actually brings us to the end of our virtual open event. So thank you so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed today's live streams and the live streams from the past couple of days. They'll all be on our Facebook page and our YouTube page, so you can rewatch them if you missed any. But now you can tune in for our quiz and question time on our Instagram stories, and then that will see you out to the evening. But thank you again to our careers team for joining us, and we hope you have a lovely evening. Right, bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.